In this tutorial we're going to create an app. The app's going to be a day planner for your school week, Monday to Friday. So this isn't not going to be an app you'd want to put on an app store necessarily. It's just an example of how to create an app on using brackets. So we're going to be using HTML5, which brackets will be the code editor for that. And we'll be using jQuery to bring the functionality in. So in later tutorials we'll cover how to package those up into an app that you can put on Android, iOS, Windows app stores. But to get started we're just going to keep it fairly basic. Now, as I say, it's going to be a HTML5 app. You don't have to know HTML5 to do this particular tutorial. If you do know some HTML, it's going to make a lot more sense, but we're not going to actually be coding too much. We'll be changing the content, but you'll be copying and pasting most of the code from the jQuery website. So to get started, we're just going to cover what you need software-wise and code-wise before we dive in. So as I say, we're going to use brackets. Now it's an Adobe product, but it's open source. So it's mainly just a code editor. It's got some really cool features though. So some people use Notepad++ and even just Notepad, and they use their own code editors. That's great. You can do that. I'm just recommending you use brackets because of the extra functionality it brings, which we'll go through as we go through this tutorial and future tutorials. So if you haven't already got it installed, you need to download brackets and install it. It's available for Windows and Mac and even Linux. So if you need to download and install it, pause the video now and do so. So moving on, we're going to use also jQuery. So jQuery is a mobile framework based on using JavaScript. So it just kind of simplifies some of the functionality you need. So you might have heard of jQuery before. We're going to use specifically JQuerymobile. So that's jQuerymobile.com, or just Google jQuery mobile. You're going to be downloading the latest stable release. Currently that's at 1.4.3. So you'll download a zip file, and we'll just be grabbing some files from that zip file. We'll also be coming back to this website to grab some code from the demo section. So lastly, we also need something called Ripple Emulator. So this demos the app within Chrome, within a window, a mobile window. It adds extra functionality, which I'll demonstrate later on when we're actually previewing the app we're making. As we go on and do further tutorials, this will also provides functionality that can help us develop easier within the browser rather than having to upload it to a phone or a mobile device to test. So these are the three things you need: in brackets, jQuery mobile, Ripple Emulator, and we'll also be using Chrome, specifically Chrome, because currently Ripple Emulator only works with Chrome. It might be working with other browsers in the future. So having brackets open, what first we need to do is we need to open a folder. Before we create new files or just open individual files, we need to open the folder. This is a really important step. So on my desktop I've got this test app folder, and we select that folder. It will become more clear later on as we enter into the code why we open the folder, but first we need to actually fill that folder with some code. So the jQuery mobile download, the zip, brings you these files. So we need some of these files in our test app folder. So I'm just going to drag and drop. So we need the images. And if we just jump into the demos, we're going to need the CSS files, which is the cascading style sheets, which is the styling and some images within the code. And finally, we need the JavaScript, which is in the JS folder. So if we go back to brackets, you'll see that these folders are now showing here. So we can just drop down these and we can see the hierarchy of these files. And if we click on the files, it shows you all the code there. If we click on an image, it shows you the image file, preview of the image file. And same with this. Now if you notice, there's jQuery and jQuery min. The minimization is just shrinking it down and compressing it to the smallest file size it can. So they both do exactly the same thing, except the minimized file is just a lot smaller in size. Okay, so we'll minimize that. What we need to do is we need to create the page. So we're going to grab that code from the jQuery mobile website. So if we go to jQuerymobile.com and click on the demos, and the demos here, latest stable version. So we need the page, we need the base of this app. So if we just click down here to pages, this takes you through what you need on each page. So we just scroll further down, and this is the first bit of the whole page. So we can just copy and paste this. So we're going to copy that. We go back to brackets. We're going to go File and New, and we're just going to paste that code. As you see here, we've just got all that code we had. It's all in black text. We're now going to save this straight away. So we go Save As, and by default, we call it index.html. So this is fairly standard for most web servers. We'll accept this as the home page. So as soon as we saved it as HTML file, you'll see some color has changed on some of these elements. Because brackets now recognizes this file as a HTML file, it's analyzing it as a HTML file and presenting code in different colors depending on what kind of code it is. And as we type stuff, it will figure stuff out for itself. So first off, what we need to do is in this header, in the head block here, we need to change some of this code here. This is linking back to its website, and we need to actually replace this with the local code that's in here. So this style sheet link, we need to replace that. Now I know all the style sheets are in this folder, so what I'll do, I'll just select all of that, and I'll just start typing C, S, and before I even have to type the S, it's already identified the folder where it thinks I'm looking. So it can see that I'm trying to get to a file, and it's going, okay, the only thing starting with a C is CSS, so we're going to take down there. So CSS, hit return, CSS themes, hit return again, CSS themes default, hit return again. Now it's got to the bit where there's more files within that. So this was the CSS file, jQuery mobile minimized CSS. So I'm using the arrow keys up and down to select the one I want and hit return. Okay, so straight away we're not really coding too much, we're just kind of selecting some stuff. Now we've got to replace these scripts, and this first one is the jQuery script, JavaScript, and this second one is the mobile version of it. Okay, so again, I know all the JavaScript files are in this JS folder, so if I start typing there we go, JS, and so this was the jQuery file. So again, it's showing me all the scripts within the JS folder. As I mentioned, there's no difference between these two files. It's just the minimized one is smaller. So we'll just select that one. And again, in this one we need the JavaScript, and this one is the mobile version, and again minimized. So that's all the external files we need to link to. So as the page loads, the header will call these files to load with it. And now we can move on to the content. So as I say, this app is going to be a day planner. So let's call it day planner. So it could be your schedule, your plan for the week. So this is the header, and then this is the content. So I'm just going to straight away preview this. So there's a little button up here that allows us to do a live preview. So if I hit that, and there it goes, we've loaded. So we can see there, that's day planner, and page content goes here, and there we have page content goes here. Now when you load it, what you might find is this won't show up. This is Ripple in action, and it's just showing a preview of your app in a mobile device. Now normally, if I just click disable, that's the Ripple icon, I click disable, what you'll probably be seeing is something more like this, and what you'll have to do is enable it. But before I enable it again, I just want to demonstrate that one of the great things about Ripple, the great things about brackets, if you're not using the emulator at the same time, because that adds a little bit of extra complexity. So this is a live preview. This is one of the great things of brackets. As you're editing the code, you can have the browser window open here, and it is absolutely live editing that code. And as I select certain elements within the page, you can see them being selected within Chrome. So you can easily identify, okay, I need to change this bit, I can change that bit there. Or even if I click there, it's just selecting that particular element on the page. Okay, so that's one of the great benefits of brackets. That said, when we enable Ripple, it does take that immediate functionality away. This is not so live. Okay, and that hasn't updated here. But, and I'm not saving this, this is just constantly live updating. If I do refresh that, this does update at that point. Okay, so what we need here is the days of the week, Monday to Friday. So I'm going to make that as a list. To do that, I'm going to go back to the JQuerymobile website, and I'm going to go to List View widget and click on List View. So I need a list that I can link to. So we've got link and we've got inset. I think I'm going to select linked. Okay, so I'm going to view source here. I'm just going to copy and paste that. And I'm going to go back to brackets. So this is my main content. So this is where the main content goes. I'm just going to paste that in. Now, as you see, that's just throwing a little bit of the formatting out. I'm just going to tab that whole block of text in. This isn't required for the browser. The browser doesn't really care whether this is on the same line or this is on different lines like that. The reason we tab this in and organize it the way we do is so it's easier to see when we've got lots and lots of code on the page. It's more organized for us to identify where we are within the code. And brackets also gives us the benefit of, if we click on the opening div, the division tag, it will show us the closing tag for that. And again, if we click on the list view, so it shows the opening and then it shows the end. And the same with the smaller tags, the same line tags as well. So if you've dealt with HTML before, you'll recognize the URL tag is an unordered list. So it's not numbered. So, and these are the lines within that list. So we're gonna call these Monday, Tuesday, unsurprisingly Wednesday, even less unsurprisingly Thursday, and you'll never guess what, Friday. So straight away, if we go back to this and do a refresh, we can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but they're not going to go anywhere. Okay, so while there are actually links, because you can see there, I've got the hand cursor there ready to click on them. They're not going to go anywhere because this link, this href link, doesn't link anywhere. So we need to link these to different pages. Now, in this particular app, we're not going to have multiple pages. We're not going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, .html, etc. We're going to have each page within this page. Now you can see here, this division here is just a page. This is just one page. So we're going to have multiple pages in the same document. This means it's going to load a lot quicker. So, as I can see here, I've clicked on this division here. This is the opening tag, and you can see down here is the closing tag. And also you can see here, the comment tells me it's the closing tag of the page as well. As you see, if you know HTML, you recognize this as the comment tag. And it's purely just to inform the reader, whoever's editing the page right now, that this is the end of this division here. So I'm going to copy and paste that whole bit, and I'm going to call this header Monday. And what I need to do, I need to link from this page, from this link here, to this page. So we've got this link, Monday, and we want to link it to this Monday here. So to do that, we're just going to add to that hash Monday. So that hash means it's going to be an internal link in this page. There's no link preceding it. It's only after it, so that's just going to stay within this page. Now we need to identify this page as Monday. So while we've given the header, we've said the header's called Monday, but we need to actually identify this page as Monday. To do that, we add an ID tag. Now it can recognize, brackets has recognized that I'm typing some code and it's suggesting some options of what I want to type. And it's suggesting that because I've started it with an I, I'm going to create an ID. So I just hit return and it just fills in the rest of the stuff for me. And I'm going to call this Monday. So I've identified this page as Monday. What I also want to do is replace this. So again, if we return back to the jQuery mobile site, and I want to, so we're in list view here, and I want an ordered list. So we've got, in my school, we've got 6 periods. So I'm going to use this code to create an ordered numbered list. Back to brackets, and I'm going to paste that in. And I'm also going to just tab that in. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to add some subjects. And I'm going to add one more. Oh, copy. Okay, so I'm just going to preview that, just do a quick refresh. So just remind you what we've done. We've created this Monday link to this page Monday, adding that ID. And we've added some details as an ordered list on that Monday page. So if we click here, it goes to Monday and we can see that period 1, we've got science, period 2, we've got sport, so digital media, maths and English. Okay, so we're on Monday now, but we can't get back to the home page. If we do a refresh, we can get back, but we need a button here to get back. Okay, so that's the next bit we're going to do. So back on the jQuery mobile site, we need a button, so we click on the buttons. And we need a corner button, so we're going to need a button like this. So just click on source. I'm going to select that first one there, copy it. back to brackets. So I want to add a button in the header just here to send us back home. So under the header tag, I'm just going to paste that code I just copied, and I'm going to link back to home. Now, as you remember, we had to identify this page as Monday because we were linking to Monday, and now we're linking to the page home, so we need to identify that this page is called home. Okay, so if we just do a refresh of this, click on Monday, we now have a button. Stretch this out so you can see. We now have a button that takes us back home. But an X is kind of a closed button, and we want to make it identifiable, obviously identifiable as the home button. So if you see here, we've got a class tag that's identifying different style elements, and one of those elements is the icon element, and it's got the delete button. So there's a home button as well. So you remember in all these, in the CSS, that won't go down for now, I'm not sure why. So in the CSS we've got some images, and one of those is home. So if I just do a quick refresh here, and we click Monday, we've got the home button now instead. And go back. Now what's happening here is we're just doing a quick fade between the pages. Now I'm going to make that slide instead. So we're going to go from the day planner homepage, and we're going to click there, and we want to slide to Monday. So to do that, in the ahref, we're going to add a data transition, and we're going to slide it. Okay. So refresh that, click Monday, and we slide across. Now we want to slide back when we click home, so if we add it to the ahref, and it's a data transition equals slide, and do a refresh, slides to it, and slides to the home page. It's sliding the wrong way though, so we're sliding in, and we should be sliding back to get to the home page. So to do that, we need to reverse the slide. So as a data direction, we're going to reverse it. Okay, so if we refresh that, slide into Monday, slide back home. Okay, so now we need to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And also we need to, this footer is kind of floating up at the top here, and I'm going to make that sit down the bottom instead. So let's do that first. We'll deal with the footer first. So here's the footer bit of code. So that's the division, the footer division, which is that section there. And then this is what actually appears in it. So we're going to do a copyright 2014. To do that, if we hit ampersand, straight away brackets is offering us different types of code. So it knows within HTML, ampersand can mean the start of a special symbol. So you can scroll down. You can scroll down that list and choose one. But if I start typing copy, you can see that copy is the copyright symbol. Just click on that and then add the date. Okay, but we want this footer to sit at the bottom of the page. So to do that, we're going to make that division sit lower down. So that's going to be data position equals fixed. Okay, let's refresh this, and hopefully there we go. So we've got the copyright symbol 2014, and this division is now fixed at the bottom. So next up, so we've got this going to Monday. What we need is now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So as you can see here, we've got the Monday page. I'm going to just strip out the footer from that page. We'll just have the footer on the home page, and that'll be all. So we're now going to duplicate Monday, and we're going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I've pasted that 4 more times. Now if we roll up, so we have home, we have Monday, and then we have the first copy, so that's now going to become Tuesday, and rename that Tuesday. Just tidy up some of the code just to make sure it's obvious. Then we go on to Wednesday. And on to Thursday. Now, you saw I just typed a capital T. Now, what we need to ensure that is everything is spelt and capitalized exactly the same way. It's not to say I cannot capitalize Thursday. I can, but if I capitalize it there, I need to capitalize it here as well. So that's something else we need to add. We'll do that in a minute. So Thursday, and obviously Friday. So I'm capitalizing the header. That's content, whereas this is actual code, or scripting rather. Okay, so if we roll back up to the top, we've identified the page names. We need to actually now link to them. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we ensured that was lowercase Thursday and Friday. Now, one thing we haven't added is the data transition, so we're just going to copy that as well, so we make sure all the pages transition into them the same way. Okay, so we've got Monday, we're going to slide that, Tuesday, slide, Wednesday, slide, Thursday, Friday. Let's go and test that code. There we have Monday, slide back, Tuesday, slide back, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Excellent, so that's working. So all I need to do now is just replace these, make sure that's all up to date. So we've got food that day, and sauce again, and science, sport, and loat. And Tuesday's early closing, so get rid of that last one. So just double check that. We've got Monday, 6 lessons, Tuesday, 5 lessons. And just need to finish that off for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's the initial, just how to create a basic app. So something may be useful for you to have on your mobile device, on your phone or your iPad. Not something you want to be putting on an app store necessarily, but that's just the basics. Now we're going to move on to some more detailed stuff. Again, we're not going to do too much coding. It's going to be mainly copy and paste, and then we're going to be looking at how to package that up. We're going to be using a website called PhoneGap, which is run by Adobe. And PhoneGap helps you compile these kind of apps, so all of these folders and this index file, compile it all into a format ready to upload directly to an app store.